Alright, it is Sunday, September 8th, 2019 at 7:53 p.m. Let's take a look quickly at the National Hurricane Center. Alright, we have Gabrielle, Tropical Storm Gabrielle, maximum sustained winds of 55 knots and 65 miles per hour, minimum central pressure 995 millibars, located 35.3 north and 49.4 west, movement north at 14 knots or 60 miles per hour. It's pretty much heading out into the Atlantic and not going to be dealing with land. And then we have disturbance 2 with 0% chance of cyclone formation in 48 hours. And for the next 5 days, low 20% chance of formation. And then disturbance 1 with 20% chance of cyclone formation in 48 hours. And in the next 5 days has a medium 40% chance. So we're keeping an eye on these. They're pretty much just storm systems over the Atlantic, and they're just pretty much bringing rain to the area. But let's take a look at the eastern North Pacific. We have a disturbance 1 with 20% chance of cyclone formation in 48 hours, and formation chance through 5 days high at 70% below Mexico. Then let's take a look at the Central Pacific. We got tropical cyclone activity not expected during the next 48 hours, so it's pretty much quiet out there. Alright, let's take a look at Gabrielle. It's pretty much heading out into the Atlantic. By 2 p.m. on Monday is a storm, and then on Tuesday still a storm, and then 2 p.m. on Wednesday heading out into the close to England and everything over here. Alright, so she is moving north at 60 miles per hour and has maximum sustained winds of 65 miles per hour. Alright, thankfully she's going to be out of the way and not going to be really bothering anybody. Alright, let's take a look here at the Weather Channel. It says tracking Tropical Storm Gabrielle and 2 other areas in the Atlantic. Tropical Storm Gabrielle is no threat to land in the central Atlantic. We're also watching 2 other disturbances across the Atlantic. Tropical Storm Gabrielle is no threat to land in the central Atlantic, and there are 2 other areas in the National Hurricane Center is monitoring for development. Here's a rundown of each system. Tropical Storm Gabrielle is spinning in the central Atlantic Ocean and is centered more than 1,000 miles west of the Azores. The tropical storm will track north and then northeastward through early this week over the open Atlantic waters. Gabrielle is no threat to any land areas and should transition into a non-tropical low-pressure system on Tuesday. 2 other areas to watch in the Atlantic. A broad area of low pressure in the eastern Atlantic is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms several hundred miles west of Cabo Verde Islands. The system has been dubbed Invest 94L, which is the naming convention used by meteorologists to identify disturbances that could develop into a tropical depression or a storm. The National Hurricane Center has given 94L a medium chance of development over the next 5 days. It's too soon to tell if the disturbance will eventually pose any threat to land areas. A separate disturbance is located a few hundred miles northeast of the Leeward Islands. Hostile upper-level winds will keep this system from organizing early this week, but the middle portion of the week ahead, some slow development of this system is possible as it moves into the southwestern Atlantic. This sounds a lot like activity at once, but it's fairly normal this time of year. The Neil Dorst of NOAA's Hurricane Research Division points out September is a peak month, and not only for the Atlantic Basin, but also part of a broad peak of activity in the Eastern Pacific and Western Pacific basins in the Northern Hemisphere. As you see here, named storm frequency, tropical storms between August and October. September is the peak month. So we are definitely in it, but as you can tell from this, it's pretty much peaceful right now because Gabrielle is heading out into the Atlantic, and then these 2 disturbances haven't developed yet, and they're just hanging out. So let's take a look now at satellite imagery. This is what the Atlantic looks like right now. Here's Gabrielle heading towards the north, and then we have the tropical disturbances hanging out here in the Atlantic. Pretty much just dispersing rain. Hopefully they just stay that, just rain, and don't develop into anything. Alright, let's take a look at the Gulf of Mexico. Pretty much peaceful, except for this little amount of clouds going closer to Louisiana. And let's take a look at this. These are the remnants of Dorian over Nova Scotia, pretty much just heading out and falling apart. They did bring a lot of power outages to the Canadian region, but thankfully the remnants of Dorian are hopefully done. Alright, see you guys next time. Hit like and subscribe for more videos on the weather, more videos on UFO talk, which I like to do randomly, just random UFO updates on Area 51 or anything else. Also remember we have a sponsor, Dave's Empire 1981. He does shoes and hat art. He pretty much does any art you would like on a hat or Converse or Chucks, and he does that art and then he sends it to you. So check out his link in the description below. See you guys next time. God bless.